Hello and welcome back to On the Road Adventure. Today I am in the garage and we are talking tools. Now, as you can see, I've got a lot of tools in the garage. I'm sure you guys have as well. And when you're traveling, it is very tempting to want to carry as much with you as possible. The sad reality is you can never have enough. Even when you're at home, you've never got enough tools. There's always something missing. So let's talk about the tools that I've just received in the post. I'm very excited to share with you guys some tools from Eastbound. This is a company from the Netherlands and they specialize in making lightweight tools that come in small packages. And I'm very impressed with these, so I wanted to show you, but I also thought I would show you the other things that I carry on my bike when touring. I get a lot of questions on the toolkit and the gear that I use, so I'll pull the bits and pieces out and I'll show you what I've got and I'll show you what these little things can replace. Now, first and foremost, I should probably tell you that I am not a mechanic. I am no pro when it comes to these things. The things that I carry are just to try to deal with the basics, really. You know, the things that might happen when you're on the road, like punctures or things coming loose, that sort of thing. But the reality is, the most important thing you can carry when you're traveling is breakdown cover. And obviously, if you're, traveling throughout Europe or further afield, make sure that your cover covers you where you are. And, recovery, at least the nearest garage, is the most important thing that you can carry with you. The Africa Twin that we use is a tubed motorcycle, so that makes things a little bit more difficult in the event of a puncture. So I have to carry a few extra tools. So in order to carry the tools, I have the Lomo crash bar bags fitted to the crash bars, and both me and Eva have this on our bikes, and we carry in there some tools and waterproofs as well. So these are fitted to the bike all the time. No matter what luggage you take on and off the bike, you always have this on your bike. It's absolutely essential. And I also carry a tool roll in the top box. This is the bags that we currently use. These are 6-litre Lomo bags, and they just attach universally to the crash bars. And yeah, we really like these. And not only is it a great place to store your bits and pieces, but they'll also protect the bike should it go over as well. It's much better to damage these bags, which are cheap to replace, than it is to hit your crash bars or your tank. Alright, first thing stuffed on the top of it is a high vis. Not only is it a good idea to carry one of these should you have a breakdown, especially at night time, but it is a legal requirement to carry one when you're traveling in Europe. So just out of habit, I keep that stuffed in there. It's always there if you need it. Next up is the motorcycle lube. This is just a small can. This is all you'll need for a main trip across Europe. So this will be enough to maintain me and Eva's bikes for, some time. And you can always pick this up on the road as well. So, you don't need to carry a big 500ml can of chain lube. Next in this bag, I've got a little pouch, and inside here, these are the Oxford equivalent of rock straps. Both very, very good. The Oxford ones are slightly cheaper. But these are so useful if you have any problems with luggage coming loose, or you buy additional things and you want to strap to the bike. Really useful to carry a set of these additional to what you're using on the bike. Alright, so we've got a little bag of goodies here relating to doing the chain. I'll show you that in a moment. And inside here I have a front and a rear spare tube. We got caught out in Italy when I had a puncture, and previous to this bike we had tube-less tyres, and so I always carried a foam kit and a plug kit, but obviously that was no good with tubes, so I learnt the lesson there, and now we carry a spare tube, because trying to get hold of the right tube in a village on a Sunday in the middle of nowhere is very difficult, and it always works out that way, so always carry your spare tube. And at the bottom of the pile there, this is some soap or a lubricant for changing the tube and getting the tyre off. It's going to make your life a lot easier, so you definitely need some of that. So this is that bag that I pulled out of the packet just now. I'll just show you what's in here quickly. Inside here is another bag. And inside that, I keep an old microfiber rag. And this is just a simple 3-sided brush. You'll find these on Amazon or eBay pretty cheap. They don't last very long, but they get very grubby, and so it's not worth buying the expensive ones, just buy the cheap ones. And I just cut this one in half and got rid of the other end because I never use it. And the whole game here is to make your toolkit as small and light as possible. And then inside here, we've got a selection of cable ties. Always a good idea to carry cable ties. A couple of gloves if you need to work on your bike the side of the road. A little bit of 3-in-1 oil or WD-40, anything like that will do you just fine. Again, you don't need a big 500ml can. Just get yourself one of these small travel ones. A few more cable ties at different lengths. You can never have enough cable ties. And this is called mammoth tape. It's almost like thin metal on a tape, but this stuff is so hard and it will repair so many things. So it comes on a big roll like this, but again, you don't need to bring the whole roll with you. Just take off a section, fold it up nicely and put it away. I've probably had this in my bag for 2 years or something, but you know, if you come to use it, you'll be very thankful you got it. It takes up no room at all, very lightweight. So in the other side, I keep mainly my waterproofs in this one. Always there when you need it. Most importantly is the pump. So this is the pump we've been using for some time now really, and we actually have a review video on this one as well. If you're particularly interested in it, you can go along and have a look. So it's a good idea to keep your pump in a decent bag. This one comes with it. There's your valve. And this is the Lexin pump. Now this one's very good because not only is it a pump for your tyres should you need to repair a puncture on the road, but it's also a power bank as well. So if ever your phone goes dead or you have any problems like that, you've also got a spare cell of power with you at all times. Now it might seem obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's a really good idea to make sure you take out your power bank and your pump and charge it up every now and again, because chances are you're not going to use it for months at a time, and when you do come to use it, last thing you want to do is find out it's flat. So it's a good idea to go over all your tools every now and again, make sure everything's in good working order and everything's all charged up. Now in the top box is my big bulky toolkit, and this is kind of why I'm excited to show you about the Eastbound tools, because I'm hoping that those lightweight tools, and they are very lightweight, is going to replace a lot of what's in this big Oxford toolkit. And I don't know what this weighs. My guess is this probably weighs a couple of kilos at least. So the whole game here is to make things as small and light as possible when you're traveling, and you'll be very thankful for it later. So this is an Oxford tool road kit. You can grab that on their website, or most local bike shops will have one of those. I like the Oxford stuff. They support us on the channel. We can't thank them enough. But for years I've always used Oxford products and Oxford textiles and things, because it's just great value for money. So I always recommend it. So let's have a look and see what we keep inside here. You see now why I was saying about the weight of this, and this is something that I carry everywhere. But you can't be without your tools when you're on the road. Me and Eva are often away for months at a time, and doing basic maintenance, adjusting your chain, having the means to repair a puncture, absolutely crucial. You don't want to end your trip or to lose a few days whilst waiting for a recovery and then a garage and paying unnecessary bills. So this is what's inside my toolkit. We'll have a little look. So we've got some pliers. These are the Motion Pro tyre levers, bead breakers. So we can break the bead with the tyre on this end, and then tyre spoons at this end. But these are a fair size, and yeah, I'm going to show you what we're going to replace that with in a moment. We've got a ratchet, a 10 and a 14 double-ended spanner. We've got some other spanners here for adjusting the chain, that sort of thing, your 12mm, your 13mm, and of course a 10. Now I also have this huge adjustable spanner, and wrapped around the handle is some more Gorilla Tape. Always a good idea. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't need to carry a whole roll. Just take some sections, put it around tools that you're already going to use, and you'll be able to peel that off and use that if you need it. But this is used for doing the rear axle nut, for adjusting the chain or taking the wheel off if I need to. Again, a big heavy tool. I think I can replace that. This one's a handy little gadget. I cannot tell you how many times this simple magnet on a stick has saved me. When you drop something in a small gap that you can't get, it's always the way. This thing is so useful. I got a smaller adjustable, and this is another tool again for taking, this is a 22mm for taking the wheel off the bike. Again, I think that small tiny bag of tools is going to replace that as well. So inside here, we've got a random selection of things that might help us out. So we've got some black tape. This is a small bag, a selection of Allen keys and bits and pieces to go on the end of the ratchet, screwdriver ends, that sort of stuff. We've got a bag of electrical cable joiners. These are fantastic. If you need to join two ends, instead of soldering it together, you can put the wires together and use a lighter and melt those together, and that will make a nice seal. Job done. This is some black silicone or temporary gasket, and I had to use that on the Africa Twin when it started leaking from one of the gaskets, so I carry it now just in case I have another problem. Okay, so this is JB Weld. This stuff is fantastic. It's like temporary steel in a tube. So all you do is you mix these two together on a piece of card or something like that. So I just keep that in there. I keep the piece with the instructions in case you need it. But you can use the card, mix these two together, and it makes a really strong epoxy. I've actually glued brake levers on and bits and pieces like that. So really, really useful on a trip. Got a Stanley. I like to carry a little bag of some spare nuts and bolts and, you know, just little small things that might come in useful. And that's your lot. So the thing about the tools that you're carrying on the bike is it's going to differ from bike to bike, and whether it's a tube or tubeless, for example. I mentioned earlier on, if you don't have to carry tubes because you've got a tubeless bike, then carrying something like this is a good idea, or a small plug kit. You know, you really need to prepare for punctures because at some point it will happen. So what I'm really excited to show you are these tools from Eastbound. I saw these online, and I got in touch, and I got some sent out to me because I'm just so impressed by these. They are so lightweight and universal, and you won't believe how many tools are in these little bags and what they replace. So I was saying just now about how toolkits will vary depending on what bike you have. So these guys have thought of that. So they've made the minimalist toolkits as lightweight and small as possible, and they've done kits that are specific to your bike. So I'm going to show you obviously the Africa Twin kit, but tool sizes may vary depending on what you have. But they have thought of that. So if you have a Tenere, you buy the Tenere kit. If you have a GS, you buy the GS kit. Now have a look on the website. I'll put the link down in the description below. But go and have a look. They make lightweight spanners and winches and all kinds of really cool things. Go and have a look. So first of all, the tools come in this really small little pouch, which I like. It's made of a good tough canvas material, and because it goes nice and flat, I reckon you could store these underneath your bike seat. So, you know, any small spaces you can use up underneath your seat and, you know, actually make it useful makes a lot of sense to me. This pouch is about 17 centimeters long and 10 centimeters high. So let's see what you get in this little pouch. We've got a 22mm ring spanner, 14mm socket, 27mm ring spanner for the rear wheel. This is the ratchet adapter. I'll show you how this all works in a moment. Game piece for the ratchet. And this is your handle. So this is such a clever design. I really like this. So this is just really lightweight tools, but it does feel like it's incredibly well made. They've got little O-rings on the end so that the pieces can connect together, and they give you spare ones as well should you lose it, but that really is a nice tight fit. So now, for example, we put this 27mm on the end if we wanted to adjust the rear chain. Slide that one in there. Like I say, it is a nice tight fit, which is what you want. And now we have a good amount of leverage on that. So undoing the rear axle is going to be nice and easy. So that one is now 35 centimeters long. So that's plenty long enough to undo the rear nut. So that is replacing my huge, heavy, adjustable spanner, which I only need for removing the front and rear wheel. And this thing is, you know, it's got to be a third of the weight of that. So we don't need to carry that one anymore. So if I wanted to take off the front wheel, I need the 22mm. Straight on the end, plenty of leverage, fantastic. Now I don't need to carry this one I've been carrying. So next up, I just take the short handle, and all I need to do is to put this attachment on the end. And there we have the replacement for my ratchet. So included in the kit for the Africa Twin is this 14mm socket. Now that's needed to remove the brake calipers, get the front wheel out. There we go. That's all you need. This also means that if you go over your bike and just find the size sockets that you need, this will do the job for that. So now I don't need to carry this one anymore. The Africa Twin has pinch bolts for the front as well, and they are a 12mm. So once again, they've worked that out and given you all you needed. So just to show you, obviously you can put the other end of the handle on and extend that if you need more leverage, but there you go, there's your 22mm. This is the 12mm that you'll need for these pinch bolts up here. Then of course we can just change over to the 14mm and remove the brake caliper if needed. And again, I've got the short handle on there, but if you needed extra leverage, just put the other end of the handle on there in replacement of the 22. So there we go, everything I need inside that small pouch from Eastbound Tools will remove the front and the rear wheel, and I can do chain adjustments with it as well. And with a couple of extra sockets in there, you know, that's my ratchet set for the entire bike. Really, really impressive. So you've got the wheels off, but you've got a puncture. So what about tyre spoons? They've got that sorted. So this is the second pouch that I've got. So let's have a look inside this one then, see what we've got inside here. A end for a tyre spoon. Just look how small this is. Again, this is the same size pouch, I think. It's 19 centimeters by 10. Second tyre spoon. Handle. Second part of the handle. This is for breaking the bead when removing the tyre. Some stickers. Who doesn't love free stickers? Ah, nearly missed that. Inside this little baggie is some spare O-rings. So they are to replace the O-rings that go on all the end of the tools here. Some instructions. That's your lot. And again, really nice tough canvas bag there. I get the feeling that these little bags are going to last a long time. So you will notice in this kit with the tyre spins for removing the tyre, you do only get 2 pieces of the handle, and that is because you are going to reuse the handles that are in the other pouch for the tools you would have used to remove the wheel in the first place. To assemble your tyre spoons, which are tiny in comparison to the B Pros that I was using before and much, much lighter, all you're going to do, assemble the handle, put your tyre spoon in the end, and there we go. Look at that, a tyre spoon, lots of leverage. Yeah, so again, that one is 35 centimeters long, so that should give you plenty enough leverage really to be getting your tyres on and off with. By comparison, this is the Bead Pro, so that is considerably shorter, and I have tried these and I had a very hard time of it trying to get the tyre off. And well, if I'm honest, I didn't even manage to get it off in the garage. I gave up and went to the shop and changed it. So God knows what it's like trying to put the tyre back on with that small one. But yeah, definitely in this instance, size matters. Longer the better. So let's grab the handle out of the other pouch then, and we'll have a look and see how this bead breaker works. So now we've got 2 spoons of equal length, and we've got this little piece here. So all we do is we just put this piece in between, and obviously push this in between the tyre, squeeze the 2 handles together, and that is going to break the bead. I'm not going to take the wheel off and remove the tube just for the hell of it. You have to take my word for it. So there you go, that's my toolkit. That's what I carry on the bike every single day. It doesn't matter if I'm going 5 miles or 5 months around Europe, that's what I carry. These are Eastbound tools, made in the Netherlands, lightweight. I'm really impressed by them, and I am going to be buying more and more of their tools to replace the other tools that I have. Anything that's making my kit smaller, more condensed and lightweight is well worth it for me. That is definitely my game now going forward. I want to make my bike as lightweight as possible, and these tools help out. So I'm sure there's plenty of other things that you can carry. You know, the list is endless really. Let me know if there's anything that you carry that I don't currently, and yeah, any questions, put them in the comments. Always good to hear from you. Till next time, love you, bye.